I have to tell you how I first met Rajesh. Some of you were there. I had a friend called Vito who worked with me in the organization where I started my work in Bombay. And everything we tried to do seemed to be against somebody else. So I worked with poor women in very poor neighborhoods, and everything they said to me was very different from what all the feminists were saying to me. We were talking, we were all young people, we were told you have to analyze patriarchy, you have to deal with it. You have to start with your family. That's what we were told. When I talked to poor women, they said, listen, this family is my safety net. If I don't stay in this family, I am screwed. So, don't tell me all this stuff. Baap ki baat karo, bhai ki baat karo, all that. We can handle that. We cannot handle being away from this. So it was like a strange situation where, say, whose knowledge do you trust? We used to have people who came and did research on poor people, wrote papers, looked at the papers, didn't tell us what to do. So what kind of research is this? Nahi, kisko PhD mili, kisko MA ka degree mila. What did your people get? You're working with them every day. You treat them like beneficiaries. And the worst thing which I saw, which really transformed me as a person, was when everything that the women said was completely contrary to all the professionals who were talking to them, telling them everything that they were saying was rubbish. The right thing to do was this. So you tell people about hygiene when they don't have half a bucket of water. You don't tell them what to do with a bucket of water. You tell them that you get 10 buckets, but not half. Anyway. So this friend of mine, Brito, who died some years ago, told me, there's this one man. He says that knowledge is power. So why don't you go and meet him? Maybe you'll learn something from him. So he made me come all the way from Bombay by train. Didn't have much money that time. We went to Dehradun, to some place. Nobody was there. There were just cooks there. I'm going to tell you this as a story because I'm a storyteller. No points. And then there was a sack of rice. There were 3 people who were the cooks who were saying, "Isine chhata nahi hai, isme bahut patthar hai, kya kare pata nahi." I still don't know who is Rajesh Tandon. Why am I coming here? But I said, we must have dinner and this rice needs to be cleaned. So whoever was there got 1 plate of rice to clean. So that is, when Rajesh came, he says, this is participatory action. And so for me, Rajesh has been a very important mentor in my life. Because it legitimated the things that I was learning, because it was not an idiosyncrasy of my own that I was dealing with. So participatory research became a very nice word for me. And I think that everything I do champions that process because it legitimates the right of people to produce knowledge and to argue, fight and disclaim knowledge that comes from above that does not work for them. So, for me, that was one important. The other one was this whole concept of adult education. Because everybody said, what are you doing? I said, baat kar rahe. What is it called? I said, it's called adult education. Why do you say that? Because nobody studied when they were young. Now as we are growing up, we are learning new things. This adult education. And for me, the exposure I got through meeting your network, part of that, was to look at how you can do intensely local work, but it can transform knowledge, articulation, concepts at a global level. So there was a link between them. And my whole life of the last 40 years of my life, I think it's 1 decade behind, is to create the right of poor people to produce very, very powerful aggregated data as evidence for the things that matter to them in a way that matters to them. And to fight this sort of aristocracy of knowledge creation that we had to deal with. When I see university professors and leadership from academic institutions here, this is a big change from what I faced when I went. It would be me going with the data of pavement dwellers and somebody who's done this cute study of 10 houses, of what they do from morning to evening and how terrible their life is. And we'd say, I've got data of 28,000 households. We know exactly where they stay, we know what they did, we know which place they came from, how many times they've been evicted. Now shove it. This is the data on which you have to talk. So I feel that that is the legacy of this knowledge, new knowledge framework. And I think that the fact that you guys are now blessed with chairs, because I think that we need a community of support to do what seems crazy, out of the blue things that are very central and critical to address the challenges of feeling disempowered, of the fact that everybody extrapolates. You know, it's like Sainath said that the drought is a great party for others. He said it differently, but the point is that whenever there is disaster, the people who face the disaster have no voice, no choice, and no agency. And everything that I hope to do, and I do, is to create this power of aggregation that makes many global issues emerge out of very intensely local things. And I think that's the message I want to give everybody, that if you want to survive in local situations which are tough, you have to create a global network of people facing the same problem so that you can deal with it at different levels. Because most of us will probably have to deal with climate globally because we are not going to come into the picture locally. So, participatory research, Jindabad.